Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Okay, it's time for another Mass Make Monday, and if you're new to my channel, what I do is I set a timer for 45 minutes and I mass make one item, and if you're returning, you know my mass making tends to not be as mass as I'd like. And today we're going to be playing with, I've got a ridiculous amount of 8x6 paper pads because 49 Market keeps coming out with pretty papers. Like, this is my collection of 49 Market 8x6s, and I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of Minty 8x6s, but I just pulled out my 49 Market ones. And I went through and pulled out a bunch of pages that I think will work well for what I have in mind for today's project, which is tags with pockets. And I will run through real quick the papers that I've grabbed, like the paper packs, just in case you are interested in knowing, so I don't have to worry about it while we're crafting. But 49 Market, you know, discontinues packs after a little bit, so they may not all be available. And I have a variety of their color swatch packs, which are mini collections, and their collection packs. The color swatch collections, you get 2 of each pattern, whereas for the regular collection packs, you get 3 of each pattern. So for the collection packs, I think I pulled out 2 papers for most of them, and for the color swatches, I only pulled out 1. So this is Peach Spice, which was last year's fall one. I love this pack. This is Moonlight Garden Blossom, which was from a couple years ago, so I don't know that that one's still available. Color Swatch Ocean. These are Rouge. That's Artoptions Avesta. These are, I think, Tidal Wave. This is Plum Grove. This is one from a few years back. Curator Meadow. Lavender color swatch, and then the Christmas Spectacular for 2023. So those are all of the papers I've pulled to play with today. Now, if you don't have 8x6 papers, you can use whatever paper you have. I'm going to be cutting my pieces in half so that I get 2 3-inch wide tags from each, and then we're going to fold the bottoms up to create pockets. So whatever pieces of paper you have that you want to play with, because your tags could be any size you want. So what we're going to start with doing is I'm going to start my timer, and I'm going to cut down my paper. If you're, ooh, got stuff crashing down. If you're using a thicker paper like this, you're probably going to want a scoreboard so that you can score your pockets and fold easier. If you're using something thinner, it won't be as big of a deal. So let's hurry up and cut all of these. I thought about pre-cutting everybody and then decided against it. Whew. That one I'm going to have to cut with some scissors. So how's everybody doing this fine Monday? I had been off all last week to try and get some filming ahead done, to reorganize my craft space, to kind of recharge. And so today is when this airs, it will be my first day back at work. I'm filming on the Saturday before, and took a little over a week off, and it still wasn't enough because, you know, I always think I'm going to get more done than I do. And, you know, I am very much of the opinion that, but for the fact that, you know, I need to eat, feed dogs, and pay my mortgage, I would happily retire tomorrow. Because, yeah, I can entertain myself. I can keep myself busy. I got plenty of stuff. There's so much crafting to do and so little time to do it. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to being back at work just because I, you know, would rather be playing at my craft table. All right. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. Before I started filming this, I was watching a Gail Agostinelli video, and she was talking about she was finishing off one of the papers, scrapbook paper she had, and that she was sad about it, and You know, she's like, this is why we hoard all of our pretty papers. And my hoarding problem is less about not being willing to use the stuff for the most part. Every once in a while I'll come across something and I'll be like, oh, I don't want to use it up. But mostly my hoarding is a result of I shop too much. I am a crafty shopaholic. So I have a ridiculous amount of craft supplies and not enough time in which to craft with. And so that's how my hoarding comes about, is that I keep buying stuff, planning on using it for a project, but, you know, I don't start it immediately upon getting the supply, and then it sits in my stash waiting for me to have time to craft with it, as illustrated by all of these beautiful 49 and market papers. I keep buying them, even though I haven't used up the ones I have. I really need to impose a use it up before you're allowed to buy anything else policy, but they're just so pretty. I cannot resist. All right, so that's all of our cutting. Set that aside. Next up, we're gonna do all of our scoring. So I've got my scoreboard out and a scoring tool. Now we may end up getting some cracking with this paper when we score it. But I'm not too worried about that because I can always cover it with washi if I need to, which I may be pulling down. Okay. I think we're gonna make 2-inch pockets, I think is what I'm gonna do. You of course could adjust that and make the pocket any size you want. So we're just gonna go through and score everybody. And what you may see me doing as we go along is considering the paper, because this is the way the paper goes, but I'm okay with it upside down. I think it still looks nice. And then this way we've got the poinsettia at the top, and we'll do a fold up at the bottom. And this is the top, so that works out just fine. And I was being mindful when I picked out the papers where the patterning was, so that I could pick things out where I'd have the image at the top when I did my fold up. And like, again, with this one, it's a floral, so I'm okay doing it upside down because that's the way the page went. And I'm okay with having some upside down writing. If you're not, be mindful of that. If you're using a directional paper, you'll either want to cover up the upside down bit or not use that paper. So yeah, we're just gonna score everybody. So yesterday I went out to lunch with my friend from grad school, and she was nice enough to come pick me up, although she pointed out, you know, she was playing Uber driver, that she was not going to get a very good review because she was about a half hour late, which is not uncommon with my friend. All right, so this one, again, I'm going to do it upside down so that the image is pretty at the top. And I'm just taking a second here to decide which side I want. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go this way. I think I'm actually going to do this one upside down so that I keep more of the flowers. This one's fairly plain. I think we'll go this way. So yes, we had a lovely lunch. We tend to go to Carrabba's, and food's always tasty, and we can sit and relax and chat. And so I think it was a good 2-hour lunch. She had lots of tales to tell of the shenanigans she gets up to because she is involved in various local government type things. And so the stuff she keeps getting roped into, and she was wondering if it was her or just the age that she's at. And I told her, I'm like, it's partly, you know, the age that you're at, because she's on all of these, you know, involved in all of these organizations with people who are a bit older and a little less active, let's say. And so they're more than happy to defer to her handling things. But it's also hard because she, you know, has her PhD in history, is a teacher, and so, yeah, she can't keep from speaking up her mind, and so that gets her roped into things. So, yeah, I teased her a little bit about that. I was like, yeah, no, it's a little bit you, for sure. And again, upside down flowers, that because they're flowers, you can't really tell they're upside down, so that works. So yeah, we had a lovely lunch. Let's do this one. Oop. Try to stay in the line when you're scoring. I think we're gonna go that way. This one, all of the patterns at the top, so that makes it easy. Ooh. Unfortunately, we're gonna lose these flowers because the upside down twos are a little bit too prominent. That I think will probably bother me if I did them upside down. This is the one that didn't cut all the way through. Let me, pardon my reach around, grab some scissors and finish cutting. And I just basically missed the container that it goes in and dropped them on the floor, and that was the crashing noise you heard. That one's gonna go that way. I'm trying to decide on this one if I want to go like that. This one's kind of 2 inches. We'd lose the flower, but we'd have the butterfly peeking above the pocket. I think that's what we're gonna do. Not entirely sure I love that idea, but all right. Flowers at the top. All right, now that we're done with all of our scoring, we can pull all of our pieces back over, and I am going to put notches in all of our pockets. So I've got a 1.5, that's the 1 3/4. Let's see if I can find a smaller one. That's the 1.5 inch punch. I've also seen Wendy's Journal Adventures using her tab punch, and I also have my notch punch. So you can use whatever you got to put a little notch in. And so for this punch, you basically just put it in a little and you'll get a sloping curve like so. For your circle punch, it'll be a little deeper notch, and just eyeball where you want it to go. And then the notch punch creates that little notch. So we're just gonna go through and alternate between all three and create some notches in our pieces. And I hold it upside down so I can see, you know, where I'm punching. The only one I don't do that with is the notch punch because it sits like that, and this tells me where the notch is going to be. And it's the only one I'm punching the full punch on. Whereas with the tab and the circle punch, I'm only punching part way. Oh, so I'm trying to think. So I'm still in the midst of my craft room reorganization. I did get installed. My dad came over and helped me to hang, which he ended up coming out to help me hang because, you know, ensuring stuff is hung straight and level is not my forte. I have a tendency to just kind of wing it when hanging things, and straight-ish is fine. But because the brackets were going to be holding my wall boxes, I needed them to be straight and level. And if you noticed in my opening bit on my videos, you can see the wall behind me where I had 2 shelves above a desk. Well, I've replaced one of the shelves completely with the wall boxes and moved the other shelf up. Well, I ended up figuring out that the bracket for the wall boxes needed to go basically right below where the bracket for the top shelf used to be. So I left that bracket in place, and we kind of just used that to place the shelf bracket. And so really we didn't need to do any kind of leveling for that. So I probably could have hung it myself. But shh, don't tell my dad. And then I rehung above, or he rehung above the new bracket, the old shelf. And you may have also noticed in my video that the old shelves were a dark brown faux wood, because when my ex-husband and I first moved into this house, this room was painted in, we did like a faux finish that involved painting the walls yellow and then brushing a glaze in, I think, a brown, reddish brown over top. So it ended up having kind of like a autumny, orangey feel to it, and it was lovely for a time. But several years ago now, because it was getting close to 10 years now. Wow, it's been a while since I redid this room. But yeah, no, it was 10, yeah, about 8 years ago. Oi, trying to punch, talk, and math at the same time, not a good combination. I had a leak in the ceiling in this room, and so redid, and as a result, it damaged the popcorn ceiling, and I was not about to have popcorn re-added to the ceiling because nobody likes popcorn ceilings. Like, I don't know who ever thought that was a good idea, but popcorn ceilings are, well, what you don't realize was when they install popcorn ceiling, the spray that they use comes down onto the walls. So when I removed the popcorn ceiling, which was a messy ordeal, it ended up pulling the paint off of the top like inch of the wall. So seeing that, I was like, oh no, I need to repaint this room now. So that was what I ended up doing, and changing it to the lighter colors, the blue, green, and like aqua-y colors that I used. And what I did for my walls, it's kind of like a blotchy effect, is I put some paint on with a paintbrush and then in each of the colors, and then smooshed it around with some old socks to get them blended together into the color that's now on the walls. But where I was going with this is, when I first got the shelves in the room, the room was the orangey color. I have a dark brown leather couch in here, and all of the furniture bits are in shades of dark brown. Well, since I've redone the walls in the lighter colors, the dark brown I'm not enjoying it as much, so I got some spray paint and spray painted the shelf before putting it back up, so it is now white. I plan on, I got contact paper to cover the wall boxes, because I did not like how they looked up on the wall, because they're translucent. So you can kind of see through them, but they're not completely clear. They're that like cloudy, milky color. All right, so we've got all of our notches punched. And now we're gonna start folding up our pockets and scoring with a bone folder. Oh no, that's going the wrong way. Let's go this way. So I'm probably going to end up covering the top of my desk up with the contact paper as well. It's like a faux wood look in like a light, like white finish where you see the wood peeking through kind of thing. So I will probably end up covering my desk. Not that you guys can see much of it. It's a dark brown wood and the drawers in it are black. But I was puttering around because the wall boxes I got and my desk all came from the Best Craft Organizer. I'll leave a link to the website below if you want to check them out. They don't make the desk anymore, but the desk is basically 2 of their small boxes, cubes, whatever they're called. And it's kind of like a choose your own adventure story from when I was a kid. They used to have those books. I don't know if they're popular anymore, where, you get to a certain point and it's choose page 7, or if you want to do this, go to page 12 kind of thing. In that each cube has a certain number of slots, and you then get to pick your the type of drawers you're going to put into it based on the number of slots that you have. So they have 1-inch, 2-inch, and 3-inch drawers. And I am not affiliated with them. I'm just letting you know because I absolutely love this desk. I bought it at least a decade ago, and I love it because I was able to choose the depth of my drawers, because I don't like having stuff stacked on top of each other in my drawers of my craft desk. I like it to be so that I can, this way, just look in the drawer and pull the thing I need out. And so being able to pick the depth of the drawer based on what I was putting in it is great. Like the 1-inch drawer fits a distress ink pad beautifully. So I have them all laid out. So I just open the drawer and I can see the colors and pick out which one I want. The deeper drawers fit various other craft products. So I liked the customizability of the drawers. So I'm not just stuck with whatever drawer size configuration the manufacturer decides I should have. But they don't have the desktop piece anymore, so you'd have to figure something else out if you wanted to, like put something on top of like the 2 drawer segments to create a desktop. But yeah, I love my desk. I think it's great. I also have 2 additional small cubes for storage. So I just, that is how I like to organize my stuff. I don't like things stacked on top of each other if I can avoid it, because then you just have to rummage around to find things, and I'm less likely to use the stuff at the bottom if I'm rummaging around to find it. And I didn't think about the fact that once it folded up, it was going to cover the butterfly completely. I think what we may do is go ahead and do it that way, so we don't lose the butterfly. The flowers are on the front, and you can see the butterfly in the back. Yep, that works. I got 2 more to fold, and then we'll do inking and gluing. So yeah, it's a shame we're covering up that butterfly, but I like having the flowers there. All right, those are all done. Now, let's do some inking. And you know me, I'm not gonna just ink with one. Actually, some of these I want to do fancy tag tops on. So I've got my template. I will leave the link to the video where I show you how to create these down below. Actually, let's think. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ink the pockets and glue the pockets shut. And then perhaps later on, what I will do is do the tag tops. So I've grabbed for this one dried marigold, because you know me, I like to ink in color. And let's ink. This one's gonna get dried marigold. So yeah, I'm reorganizing my space. I actually did destash a little bit. I have one of those 3 drawer rolly things. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna ink and glue as we go. And pretty much just gonna put some glue down this edge and that edge. And seal it shut. And set it aside, because yeah, I can ink the rest of the edges later. It's pretty much, if you're going to ink, you're going to want to ink the notch part before you glue your pocket closed. Set those aside. And for this, I'm gonna grab spiced marmalade, I think. That's abandoned coral. But as I was saying, I went through, I had a 3-drawered wheeled thing that I had all sorts of fake flowers in. And I went through and culled it down to, there's now 1 drawer left. Because I used to do a ton of wreath making. And I still have a tendency to make too many Christmas wreaths, which I think I've mentioned before. But I haven't been making you know, regular wreaths as much lately, and I have a stockpile of leftover flowers from wreath projects that I'm like, well, I might use them again. And I've done that. I've used them on different projects. I think I'm gonna grab Speckled Egg. I think might work good for this. Yep, I think I like that. We're gonna just use this one, and probably shouldn't have because it's looking like it was an oxide on there because it's leaving a little bit of ink debris. I mean, the ink pad will be fine, but I try not to mix the two because, yeah, then you get oxide on the top of the ink pad, and you can just go in with a paper towel and wipe that off, like so. So it'll be fine. I just don't like getting oxide on my distress ink pads. Yeah, I picked up some new daubers from Amazon that are color coded so that I can make sure I know which ones are and are not oxide, so that I avoid doing that. And obviously I have not done a great job with sorting through the distress ink ones. For this one, I'm gonna go I think Broken China, because the idea is I just want the opening to show up better so that you know that there's a pocket there. So that's the whole point of the inking, and I need to get my butt moving because we're not gonna have any time to decorate any of these at the rate I am going. Are we shocked? Is anyone who's watched my Mess Make Mondays videos before shocked that I do too many and then don't have any time to decorate? But yeah, I've culled my fake flower collection down, and I actually have Friday's video is gonna be me using some fake flowers with my jelly plate to do some printing with fake flowers. And I've got another project coming up that will use some fake flowers in a different way. So stay tuned for those. I'm gonna grab Kitsch Flamingo for these two. And of course, if you're inking, you could always ink just using like tea dye or vintage photo. I just like adding color. I'm all about the color. In case you haven't noticed. But yes, sorting through the flowers, I'm like, ooh, I want to do this and this and this. So now I have a whole bunch more of ideas for projects I want to do, and not enough time to do them. Never enough time to do all the projects. I want to do all the things. I think we're gonna grab if I can find it. If I have it, do I have it? I might not have it. I thought I had it. I don't. Okay, I thought I had Shabby Shutters in Distress Oxide, but apparently I don't. I must just have it in the regular. All right, let's grab Shabby Shutters and a dauber. We're gonna see, is this, Oh, it's not. It's regular. Okay, so we're going to do shabby shutters on this one. So yeah, I need to get a little bit more efficient about my crafting time, I think. Because there are too many ideas and not enough time in which to do all of the ideas. But yeah, I have a couple mixed media ideas in my brain. And I definitely need to, having pulled out my, and I'm just using shabby shutters on this one as well. Like I was saying, having pulled these out, I'm like, I need to do some folios, because the folios I tend to use the 8x6 pads on, because I really want to use the papers I have. Do not want to hoard because I keep buying and not using, because I don't have enough time to use because I buy too much. But that is what tends to happen. And I'm doing this and I'm forgetting to glue them closed. All right, let's pull those back over and glue all of those that I inked closed. I'm thinking, because Wednesday's video this week is supposed to be either a crafty PhD or a use it or lose it craft project, you know, pulling something from my use it or lose it box. I really think what I may do is decorating some of my Mass Make Monday items, because I mass make too many and then don't get time to decorate, because yeah, we've got like 10 minutes left on the clock, and I'm realizing I don't know that I pulled anything out that's going to work great for decorating these guys. So what I may do is just finish assembling all of them so I don't have some half assembled ones, and then do, as Wednesday's video, decorating some of these and some of the other mass make items that have not gotten decorated yet, because yeah, there's a whole bunch of those sitting in my stash. So that may be what I do for Wednesday's video, because I've been racking my brain as to what I should do for that video. Okay, I need something a little brighter, I think, than shabby shutters, but I'm not sure what would work. I think I'm gonna be bold and daring and grab cracked pistachio. Let's see how that goes. Fingers crossed, we like it. Yeah, it works. Oh, and I have picked out the new flooring I want to get and the new couch that I want to get. And actually, I'm going to downsize to a love seat for this room because, well, it's pretty much me and the dogs are the only ones sitting on the couch in here. So I'm like, I could get a slightly smaller piece of furniture in that space and have more room for craft storage. Oh, it's a sickness for sure. But what I'm thinking I want to do is, I've got over there is my desk for work. Well, half of it's for work, because that's where I sit on the couch because I work from home. All right, let's grab over these, and I'm thinking peacock feather. And so I sit on my couch, and so I keep my laptop. I used to have just like a little table that I put my personal laptop on before I started working fully remotely. And I realized that that was not working when I had two laptops in here, my personal one and my work one. So I got a desk that I put next to my couch so that I can have space for both laptops. And it actually also has space for my sewing machine. So my sewing machine has a permanent place that is out as opposed to put away. And I really like the desk. I got it on Amazon. So it was an assemble myself kind of thing. It's got shelves at one side that aren't exactly easy to access because I have the shelves pushed against the wall, which really isn't how they're designed. You know, it's meant to have the shelves like out so you can access them from the non-desk side, since to get to the bottom shelves you'd have to crawl under the desk with where I have it currently placed. But I'm thinking of getting another one to put at the other end of the room, and I may move my sewing machine over there. This one I think I may just go with vintage photo for. And, you know, I picked up with my refund, I may have mentioned a scan and cut, so that I can put the scan and cut in here instead of having it in another room because there's nowhere to put it in here right now. So I think that's what I'm going to do at the other end of the room. But I've already got some like storage shelves over there. But if I get a love seat so that the couch isn't taking up as much room, I can shift those to a different wall. And yeah, so my craft room reorganization is still a work in progress, but I don't want to get the new desk until I'm ready to till after I do the flooring. I don't want to put any additional furniture in this room until after that occurs. But yeah, I've picked out the flooring. You know what I think will work on this nicely is Hickory Smoke. If I can find it. Black soot. Where's my Hickory Smoke? Oh, right in front of my face. It was right in front of my face. Yeah, we're definitely running out of time on this sucker. Because we've got about 5 minutes left, so I don't even think I'm gonna get all of them glued together on camera. But yeah, I think what I will end up doing is decorating a bunch of these on Wednesday's video, since I've been racking my brain for what I was gonna do for Wednesday's video, and that would be a good something to do. All right. I'm going to glue these two closed, and then I'm going to show you do at least a couple of the tag tops. So I can show you tag top options for these. So yes, I will keep updating you on my craft room makeover, and maybe I'll do a craft room tour once the makeover's done, but it's probably not going to be until June, because I figured I'd wait and see what kind of sales there are for Memorial Day. All right, so I've got some templates. Trying to decide, like, picking good ones for, oh, you know what, this one's a good one for a fancy top, because I'm not going to be too mad at losing that. So I'm just going to put my template down, trace around, and I'll leave a link below for the video where I show you how to create these little templates so that you can create your own. It's not exactly perfect, but it's handmade, so it doesn't have to be. So there we go. That's got a fancy top. And you know what? I think I want to round the corners and fingers crossed, my corner rounder is gonna like it because it's 2 layers thick of cardstock. Ah, yes, it worked. So there we go. That's one fancy tag top. This one, oh, that one's not glued closed yet. I think this one will be good for doing this topper. And then, you know, just trim around, and I will of course ink these edges in a little while, so that all of the edges are inked. So there's another fancy tag top. And I've got one more. Let's see what we got that it might look nice doing the tag top. Okay, this one. I think we can do a fancy tag top on. So those are my fancy tag tops. And then let's grab one. Let's do this one. I'm just going to use my regular tag shape template. Now, if you don't have a tag shaped template, you can eyeball clipping off a corner, take the piece you clipped off, flip it over, and put it on this side. I just find it easier to hold this in place than the itty bitty corner I've snipped off. So that's why I use this. And all it is an old gift card that I've chopped corners off of to create tag top shapes. So I much prefer using this to the hand holding method. And our alarm's about ready to go off. So for a change, we're gonna actually stop it like a couple seconds before the alarm goes off. Craziness, I know. And call that a day for today. So let's see all the ones we got fully assembled. Apparently forgot to glue these together. So let's see. We've got the 4 that are fully assembled with our tag shape at the top cut off. So we've got those. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, inked and glued shut without the tops done. 2 that are inked. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more that are not yet inked, but notched and folded. So yeah, that's what we did today. We made a whole heck of a lot of tags, and I am really quite happy with how these are looking and how many I got done. Granted, it didn't even put much of a dent in my paper stash, but at least I used some of my 8x6 papers. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Oh, and 2 more. Sorry, I forgot those 2. I was like, I looked over and I saw them. And I've lost where I was. Please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.